Not so sure. Okay. So, the future of Umbraco, hopefully it's bright. New Backoffice has launched recently. Lots of innovation around AI, new packages, and the roadmap contains some fairly exciting features. But maybe what are we all looking forward to? What do we think is going to be a highlight of the next couple of years?
I'm actually really looking forward to a bit of stability. We've had a lot of changes. And things should start to level out, and we'll get incremental features rather than rewrites of things, new features I'm looking forward to. But yeah, just that a bit of stable will be nice for a while, I think.
Global blocks.
Global blocks.
Global blocks.
Yeah, I mean, block-based layouts have been a godsend in recent years, I think, from the old grid in Umbraco and nested content to now a standardized approach for storing data and managing page content is awesome, but it would be really nice to be able to have a way of referencing and reusing things, having it shared globally. Thankfully, it's on the roadmap for, I think, V18. It's coming at some point, but yeah, that's certainly a
It'd be nice to get rid of all those sort of workarounds agencies have been doing to get
So
global blocks.
Yeah, so many workarounds, so many.
Yeah, and with that comes performance as well, right? With the new blocks, so that'll be even better.
Yeah, on the performance topic, there's a load of stuff coming for improvements around load balancing and the cache as well, which I just think is also exciting for some of the stuff we do, bigger scale sites, like we hit those bottlenecks pretty quickly, and having Umbraco work well in those environments would be cool. Containerization will mean it's maybe more applicable to run it in certain enterprise setups. So yeah, I think that's exciting.
It's a good tool to have in the toolkit, won't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've been able to do containerization for a while, but perhaps not great. It's maybe a bit flawed at times.
Yeah, and it's
Not first class.
Certainly not.
No.
No.
But now with Aspire and .NET, it makes it easier as well.
Oh, yeah.
It gives you that local developer-focused way of doing it that scales as well. So, and then you're sort of running containerization locally in a way that suits you as a developer, but then it scales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For clients, like, is there something that we think is going to make clients' lives a lot easier? I think the new Backoffice and UI bring consistency across the products, and finally something that looks and works the same everywhere and across every Umbraco product is nice. People can feel like they're using a trusted platform at times.
And there's a lot more flexibility there in the new Backoffice. There's a lot more extension points. It's a lot easier to do something small quickly and just get it in there.
Sure.
Perhaps before we were reliant on some of these big plugins to deliver lots of features in the Backoffice. Whereas now, actually, you look at what a client might need for a site, and I think, well, actually, I can just whip up some JavaScript that's going to fix that problem for them quite quickly without having to reach for something like a sledgehammer to crack a nut that we have with contentment, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a great example. Is there anything clients are asking for?
Well, one of the things as well at the moment is that where the back office is being rewritten, we're kind of getting to feature parity sort of level.
Yeah.
But in the near future, we're going to start to get those new features in. And there's also loads of packages suddenly appearing for the new back office, which is exciting, with sort of multiple editors and that sort of thing. But as the community moves towards the newer versions, we get more stuff because we rely on the community for that.
Yeah, there's obviously been some challenges with uptake of the newer versions because there's a bit of a learning curve there. But I think, at least for me, when I've finally gone away and had a proper play with it and a chance to actually build, it's not that steep a learning curve, and it's quite a nice developer experience. So I think there's definitely a lot of scope for some more exciting packages to start being built, or some of the couple of the old and reliable ones still aren't quite migrated yet. So that would be nice and helpful.
You mean yours, yeah?
I never made any promises. What about how are we staying on top of this? Because, like I say, has been a learning curve in recent times.
Community's a big one, isn't it? We've been quite hot on making sure we're staying up to speed with conferences on the new developments. Blog posts are really valuable as well. But of course, we've also got front end devs on the team who live and breathe this stuff all day. So it's not like we're having to work within this old framework of Angular anymore. We've got this new modern web backend that we can actually start to learn from the front end community about.
Yeah, and I think that's important. Like, we talk to people, right? Like, that's a big deal. Like, there's developers can get this kind of stereotype, don't they, sort of being shut away in the room, bashing out code. But actually, what's more important more important for us as we go and we talk to other developers, we learn, we know what's coming because we're being friendly.
Yeah.
TM.
And it's not just helpful for us, is it? It's helpful for our clients.
Yeah.
We are not shy in coming forward about how involved we are in the community, and that's not just for our benefit. It benefits everyone. This is.
Yeah. I think it's ultimately a superpower. I like to think that we treat community maybe equally with equal importance to some of the work we do on a daily basis with our clients, and either giving back or learning from the community, and it ultimately just improves the work we do.
Exactly.
Across the
You've
board.
got to give to take back, right? It's a circular thing. Everybody, most people do the same.
As you give, you get criticism, which is really helpful.
Joe, you've had too much of that recently.
But when you give a talk, you get questions, and it helps steer you on the right track. So
and it helps keep your mind active.
Yeah,
you're
absolutely.
thinking about things that maybe have only just been brought to your attention, and that need that attention.
Absolutely.
So, kept accountable.
Yes.
And moving forward.
That's it. Yeah.
One of the $1 million, maybe hottest topics at the moment is AI and the space that maybe has in this world that we're working in. I mean, we get these questions all the time, like, will AI replace developers? Will AI replace content writers? And will an AI system just be able to make my entire website for me at some point? And it's an interesting time, I think. Like, there's some truth to all of that, I guess, but. I wonder what your thoughts are on where AI has a place in Umbraco or in the web in general.
I think it's now and in the near future, it's definitely a useful tool to have, but you still need that human curation element.
Yeah.
So generating content through your LLMs, your ChatGPTs, and all that sort of thing is great, but it's still lying to you. So you still need a human to go in there and validate it and check that that's the kind of message you want to be sending out. Yeah. And I think we're a long way off that being humanless.
I think it comes from the fact that when people hear this phrase AI, artificial intelligence, conjures up for the layperson visions of something completely autonomous that knows what to do. That is not what we're talking about when we're generally talking about AI in people's daily lives. AI in one way has been around for a really long time. Hasn't it? You look at anyone Google something on their phone these days, you get a suggestion of what might be what you're looking for. And I'm not talking about the summary that gets generated. I'm talking about search topics.
And when we talk about AI at the moment, we're really talking about LLMs, aren't we?
Yeah.
And actually,
do you want to explain?
A large language model.
There we go.
Well, okay.
In brief.
That's all I'm going to explain. That's it. No. But it's still, it's a predictive model, isn't it? It's still just trying to predict what's coming next. It doesn't know what it's doing. No. Its reasoning is all in language when it does do it or appear to do it. And what we should do is treat it as what it is, which is an automation tool still. Like, it can speed up things. It can do things that we could do faster. But actually, it's still not in a position to do things that we can't do. So it's just a speed thing, really.
Yeah. It can check things for us. Yeah. It can fill in some gaps, maybe.
Optimize, give suggestions.
Exactly.
Personally, I think that's where AI is going to play a big part in Umbraco for speeding up and improving your day-to-day workflow as either an editor of the CMS or as a developer working with the CMS to create new features, implement them, but it's only going to be saving a handful of clicks or keystrokes that you would have typed otherwise. I don't think these LLMs have a place for content generation per se, because then we're just going to end up with the whole internet being generated based off an earlier copy of the internet. It's a kind of quite dystopian idea. But I think ultimately that's where AI is going to exceed. Also as well, Umbraco is serving a certain niche that I'm not sure is as ripe for automation that maybe things like off-the-shelf builders, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace are there serving. They are prime for, I need a basic website and I'm going to let an AI system make it for me.
I'm a sole trader, maybe.
And maybe that works well. But when you're doing big, complex integrations, our job is breaking down the problem and the challenge and coming up with a solution. It's not necessarily how all of that works under the hood. That's sometimes the easy bit, is the working out, what are my requirements here, actually?
And a large multinational is going to want to let LLMs anywhere near sensitive data.
Yeah, exactly. Certain companies certainly are more reluctant to do that, and it becomes a big challenge at at scale with certain AI tools that you can't limit data residency, or you can't have any guarantees that they won't use your data for further reinforcement of the model, and then it could be sensitive data, and it gets all kind of a bit messy. Another question that we always ask ourselves, I guess, internally is, does this need AI? Like, it seems to be the fad. Let's sprinkle a bit of AI on the top of everything.
See, that's going back to your earlier question. That's what clients ask for. They're like, do we need some AI on our site? Because it's like, no disrespect, of course they're going to ask that because it's a topic of conversation. But
we've had
it's
clients,
worth interrogating.
We've had clients come to us and say, we want this AI model trained on our data, and we've just proposed, well, we can do that. We can do that with programming, and it'll be way better and way cheaper for you.
Less time intensive.
This can be a standard search, or a keyword type filter to bring certain items further up in your results, or to feature a certain set of items on the homepage, to personalize content. We can write code that does that. And
it's a really good point. A lot of functionality is essentially serving the same purpose that you would expect.
The other key thing is, if you are looking as a business to service your data through to LLMs, it needs to be in a structure that makes sense. And this is not to say that an LLM requires data in a certain structure. It is very, very good at understanding or gleaming intent from completely disparate bits of information. But if you're looking for a high quality output, you need to give it high quality input.
Yes.
And most people's websites are not structured in a way right now that you can just chuck an LLM at it and say, okay, go find this. Go find some information, understand this. You see it a lot with the summaries that appear above search, where it just completely incorrectly categorizes bits of content. That's going to be really important. So if you focus on structuring your pages and your content in a way that helps those systems understand your content better, you're going to end up better off. It's kind of the next wave of SEO.
I was going to say, does that
AI
mean SEO?
Yeah.
Does that mean meta tags are going to completely change to something very different?
You can do that now as well, can't you? Like, you can ask AI, what do you think this page I've just made is about, and see then, and it could be a nice way of like tailoring your content so that, if the AI can't work out what you've just written, then someone reading it isn't going to. So it can be quite a nice sanity check from that point of view. And in my opinion, that's a nicer way of using it than generation, because it's still your words ultimately that you've started with and is your content, but it's telling you, perhaps you want to say this instead of this, and that kind of thing is more helpful.
There's a lot of useful tooling that we can build with AI and use LLMs in, but it's tooling. It's not the end product, right?
Yes. I think products like Umbraco, Commerce, Engage, and even just custom integrations, they are perfect for bringing some AI insight into, so that we can actually get a better understanding of what our data is and means. But maybe that's about the limit of where we do anything really advanced in the Umbraco space. In my perspective, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm yet to see that killer use case for an AI integration in Umbraco that just makes sense. But definitely not content generation. Definitely not. And I don't think developers are going away anytime soon, unfortunately.
No, well, that's and I think when I'm using it, I've used AI to come up with Umbraco code. It gets so much wrong, but it's that thing of, well, I know more about Umbraco than what that AI has been trained on.
Yeah.
And part of that's like the keeping up to date with it. Part of that is just knowing more, I guess, than what tends to be, the content of the internet as it exists. We don't necessarily perhaps blog about some of the more esoteric things that we come across.
Exactly, because that's not going to get you the clicks.
No, but we know that stuff, and
I have been using ChatGPT to help me code in languages I don't know. For example, in my free time, I end up writing a lot of Python. I don't want to learn Python.
Does anyone want to learn Python?
but it's better than my first guess. I still have to fix it. But it's a good starting point. But
that's a really good point. It's a starting point for a lot of things.
But where we're experts in a subject matter, it doesn't make sense to.
It can be that we're a fully remote team, so it can be a very helpful tool as a sort of a pair programmer. Sometimes a sparring buddy to say, I've done this, I've tried it, it didn't work. Any ideas? And in the out of the ether, it'll pull some things. Sometimes little nuggets of gold that are like, that's completely wrong, but you've said something there that has led me down the right path.
0.5 of 10. Suggestion value of 10 actually kind of works. And the ability to then ask follow-up questions, elaborate more on those specific things can be really handy. So that's where a human is a lot better, actually, because your LLMs don't ask you follow-up questions.
No,
currently.
they don't.
So if you're not clear in your question or your input, it's just going to make assumptions, right?
For sure.
Or ignore
Yeah,
what you
it'll
said
ask you the
completely.
follow-up questions at the end of its answer.
Yeah.
So you just have to assume that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas
Right,
if you
that's-
speak to another human who knows their subject matter, they're
And
going to
ask
ask
you
you
the
follow-up
questions
questions. Yeah, and you might end up with a totally different thing to what you set out to get.
Sounds like AI is here to stay, but perhaps maybe not going to revolutionise the Umbraco world just yet.
Have we still got a job?
I think we have just for now. Just for now. But an exciting, next couple of years nonetheless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
Absolutely.
It's going to be
More than a
gonna be
couple.
big.
It's
Yeah.
going to be really cool to see what people come up with.
Exactly. Everything from the roadmap of Umbraco to the technological advancements happening in .NET and the new back office. Hopefully, the creativity of the community, and yeah, it's definitely an exciting and fresh time to be a part of things.
100%.